I was trying to explain to y'all, like some people are you get a book, you skip the title, all that shit. You skip the intro, you done skipped all that shit. You trying to read the book so
you
damn
ain't
bad.
That book right if
you don't even know the shit break down what the book about when you first open up the goddamn book.
Goddamn metaphor.
When you open up the book, it tell you a little bit about the whole fucking book before you even start reading that shit. So some people just don't know how to.
Say if you just read the intro.
Yeah, man, you got to like.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Great Apes Cafe. Great appreciation for people, entertainment, and success. And I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves to my right.
What's good, y'all? It's Queen Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
Happy to be home.
We happy. We happy. Facts. Sis.
Hey, this is Kiana.
What's up, man? It's your boy Kev, and we on the set.
And this is Great Apes Cafe. I hope that you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, click that bell. Can't you tell if you click that bell? We can't tell, but we can tell if you click that bell.
Happy 777, y'all.
Happy 777.
Y'all know today is technically 777.
It is 777.
Hello.
Let me put my phone on vibrate.
I
forgot about that.
I'm up all night to get lucky. I'm up all night to get lucky. I'm up all night to get.
Up all night to get. Anyway, how you been? We miss you.
I've been good.
Did that sound sincere? Y'all tell the truth.
All right.
She's like, did that shit sound forced? Look.
I feel
I've been good.
No,
Said,
I don't want to. Yeah, so I
you don't want to unpack yet?
No, not that I don't want to unpack. I just don't want to make a hard time seem like a bad time.
Pain is necessary for growth. I understand.
Yeah, so I'm transitioning through a lot of different things and starting some new chapters, and I just relocated and trying to, get some balance where I am. So, but I'm doing really good. I'm so happy about the new changes in my life, and I got some big changes. I told you. Did I tell you yesterday?
You did tell me a little.
But we're not going to
go on that. We're not going to announce it. I can't announce.
It's too soon.
I won't say it. Just because I have a podcast, don't mean I air everything out. I ain't gonna be airing your laundry out like that. But I do want us to talk about change. Embrace change.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we can't help change, and life will hit you like raindrops. Raindrops are falling on my head. Same concept.
And the crazy thing is like I always know when I'm going through some type of growth or what I like to call ascension, because I be feeling like I be mourning myself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
would you say more like
when I say more, I mean like
or just like
mourning to release my old self. So every time I'm like going through a new transition, I notice like I be feeling like real heavy, like going through emotional changes. We in some powerful moon cycles right now, so that's been affecting my emotions a lot too. But it is me transitioning into a new chapter. So it's like mourning my old self, because I'm not mad about where I came from. I'm so grateful and thankful, but I'm also ready to leave it behind and move on to the next chapters.
I like that perspective when you really think about it, when you look at it, mourning your old self.
Yeah, because you don't want to like be in bitterness or
right.
You know what I'm saying?
I never thought about it like that, because when you really think about like people in general, one thing I realize, like when I look at all my friends, family members, old people, geriatrics, young people, no matter what happens in your life from the beginning, middle, end, right? You still have a past. And that past, even though some of y'all went through some changes and y'all like, oh, I like the new me, or I don't like the new me, those old connections, those old spiderweb links are still a part of you. And the difference is you moving in a smarter way, or you more knowledgeable in your present than you ever were in your past.
Right.
So how, each person deal with moving forward on dealing with that. I'm still the terrible 17-year-old who want to fight everybody. However, I'm 32 now, and I got to make sure I change that dial a little bit.
Yes, that emotional control.
Oh yeah. Shout out to the men and women who know how to have emotional control.
It doesn't mean you don't go through things that make you emotional, but it's when your reactions change. Like you think before you allow your emotions to cause you to react.
And sometimes you need a reaction.
Absolutely.
A prime example. And there's a reason why we have we evolved to have anger. I feel like if Will Smith utilized his anger when he first found out his wife had an entanglement, things would have been different. What a great sadness.
What if he had an entanglement too, though?
No comment. But yeah.
Well, shit, that's what make it harder for some men. Shit, when they had it first.
Yeah,
she went and
what?
Hey, I just went through like some shit like that, like just trying to be all the way straight 100, and then like I'm glad that I was, because at the end of the day, I felt good walking away. Like damn, like at least I wasn't the problem. That's all that really mattered. But after I found the problem, shit, I walk away. You know what I mean? But I was able to walk away feeling like I ain't feel no guilt. Like yeah, I goddamn did that. I ain't do none of that. So I walked away clean, and it just kind of gave me more of a different perspective of how to even do something like that, or if I even want to try that again.
Right?
You feel me?
Why would you feel guilt though? Like in that
situation say
particularly?
so say like, all right, I find out this, right? And imagine if I was doing something the whole time without the person knowing. I've like you ain't gonna feel.
But you weren't.
Huh?
But you were not.
I wasn't though. But I'm saying like if you was to do that, you would feel that shit. Like
Yeah.
You would feel it later. Like it'll catch up with you later. Like you would think about it.
Can you imagine? Let me ask you this, because there are a lot of simps out there. What would have happened if your ass didn't walk away?
Man, I don't know.
How would you be able to handle that?
Like if I was like lost in love, couldn't walk away, I'd probably be,
you couldn't be.
It probably would have been some kind of type of violence with for real. At the end of the day, for real, like not even with her though. Not even with her though.
Bring the transparency.
Not even with her though.
I agree with that. I was just making sure.
But it's just I just took everything accountability. Like, I was able to walk away like knowing, like just think about it. Imagine you walking away scotch free from a case, knowing that you ain't do nothing, and you get to walk away. You will walk out of that judge room.
You relieved when you find out.
Yes,
when you find out your situation, and you know who you are. We're not going to say your names, but when you find out that somebody, in a sense, was kind of fucking you over, and once you found out, you had the emotional control not to conduct yourself in a behavior that would get you in trouble.
Yeah,
that's hard for a lot of men, and I applaud you, men and women, especially men with anger issues, who don't know how to utilize their
emotional control sense.
Might be worse.
Oh, I know. My mom threw a pot of boiling water on my father. So I understand. Shout out to you, Dad. I'm airing your laundry out.
He already emotional.
Oh, yeah. My dad got cuts all over his body. You thought he a damn samurai. My mom. R.I.P. my mama. But yeah, anyway. You laughing. I'm I'm telling you, I'm just saying, that's some toxic ass shit. Look, everybody talk about man putting their hands on woman, but nobody talk about the woman putting their hands on man. And let me tell you something. My mom used to abuse my father. My father said some slick shit, but he had to get that razor cut on his arm.
Tim's saying that, but he's so pro-feminine. Well, I'm just say this. Because I might get a little backlash.
What you mean?
But I've really just been observing and paying attention to a lot of things going on around me, like even what's happening in the Matrix, And I just really feel that women never get blamed for the shit that we be doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like we always find a way to turn it around and make it like the man's fault. Damn near 100% of the time, like that shit be running close. It's very
I ain't gonna lie,
times
because y'all could have reverse psychology.
Woman takes accountability for, and I think like what Kev is saying is the most freeing thing you can do. Is to be like, I'm not paying attention to what you did wrong. I need to check myself and
It
what
was
I
just
got
like
going
it was just
on.
like
You know what I'm
like
saying?
when I'm talking my shit, I know I ain't lying. You can't sit right there and tell me I was, cause I'm like I know I didn't.
Right, because you checking yourself.
So you gonna
you
gonna understand the shit.
So
However,
what
it's
happened?
delivered.
What happened without giving too much information away? What happened in a sense?
You know,
I have to ask that question because people want to know.
People hold on to things.
Answer the question away without revealing too much.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I know.
So like, it's like, all right, it's like, let me give you a good analogy. I know I got one.
I got you an analogy. Here we go. I'm going to interject because we're going to switch subject. I'm going to interject. When you deal with a fly that's been flying around shit for all these years, leave the fly alone. Deal with a honeybee. At least they sting and get that motherfucking honey.
Yeah, but that's one thing about flies though. A fly land. Hey, listen, a fly will land on you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and after been landing and shit,
like, I know this fucking fly ain't just land on me.
Right. I'm about to have a ladybug.
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? I don't want no fly.
I be wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
What happened when you think? What happened when you think it's a ladybug and then you find out later it's a goddamn fly?
Girl. Hell no.
You'd be like, boy, you'd be like, boy, these goddamn flies.
Now you trying to slide it off.
Hey, look, you like, boy, these flies are involved.
That got
boy.
me
They
itchy.
They can look like ladybugs now.
Listen, I just saw like
maggots. That's what I saw.
I saw the evolutionary process of like how the larvae turn into maggots and it turn into flies. On a scientific level, it's actually very beautiful metamorphosis in nature in its making. However,
from crawling all the way to flying.
In the non-medical sense, the shit look nasty as fuck because it's on carcass or something dead. I went to the woods the other day and I saw a dead deer and I almost stepped on it and there's maggots breaking down, helping with the circle of life of decomposition, right? And as I'm seeing these maggots break down the animal, I'm thinking like, and one of these flies probably try to land on me. I'm thinking like, this shit nasty in a way. It look nasty. So to think that this woman that I've been dealing with, you think she a beautiful ladybug, right? I need a better bug. I hate this analogy. I want to say dragonfly, but we don't need you breathing fire, even though dragonfly
butterflies change from larva also.
They got a beautiful. Yeah, that's a better analogy.
Yeah,
you think you're dealing with a butterfly, and next thing you know, she ain't nothing but a regular fly. That been
he said a moth.
A moth. Moth is dusty. Some moths, I gotta redact that because some moths are beautiful. Some moths are actually beautiful.
But it's still a moth though.
Yeah, some flies.
I'd rather deal with a moth than deal with a fly that been landing and rolling and shit. Nah, forget that. Find out woman. Let's say if I was single, y'all, and I find out my woman was a fly. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Get the fly swatter.
Hey, look, I got a good analogy, right? So, like, all right. So, I got a bar. I'm on a bench. All right, I'm pumping, right? I'm pumping.
That's an ugly pump.
The minute I start adding all this other shit, now I'm like this.
Yeah, do you want to keep pumping that
way? I mean, I'm adding that shit. All right, I'm gonna add some more shit.
You gotta shake the arm. You gotta shake the arm.
You know
do the arm shake. Do the arm shake.
After a while, you keep adding so much shit. You gonna have to put this shit back on the bar, bro. You
gotta set it back down.
I like that analogy. That's
you can't keep lifting
that
situation.
You
can't keep lifting that.
I wouldn't ask my worst enemy to lift
baggage. Erykah Badu was talking about.
Shout out to Erykah Badu.
Shout out to Erykah Badu. You see she on tour doing her motherfucking thing.
I don't know. I'm saying all y'all men who dated Erykah Badu, the fact that y'all ain't try to Badu do what it do.
Well, you know what I can say about that.
Remember back in the day,
a lot of people sometimes will think that they can handle the caliber of person you are until they have to actually face it, which causes them
you see how she be looking on her mixtape covers?
Everybody who dated Erykah Badu went through a metamorphosis.
Oh, a good one.
And it's a good one. Shout out to my nigga 3 Stacks. Shout out to Jay Electronica. Even did Common talk to Erykah Badu?
And did.
Shout out to Common. But I'm not knocking y'all. I ain't gonna air y'all out. Don't come for me. I'm just saying, I got a little crush on Badu.
That's the auntie.
How old is Erica? Look at how old is Erica about it? No,
That's a good question.
She don't look her age, whatever it is.
Late 40s.
I know she old enough to, late 40s. Old enough to be my mama.
Is that old enough to be your mama?
Nah, I'm 32. It can't be old. She's
late 40s could.
Late could, yeah.
Be your mama. You right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You right.
Anyway, since we're talking about in a sense, since we're talking about, it was a net. See, look, even nets. If you're talking to a woman who's a net, let her ass go too. Them nets ain't it either.
Nets bite.
That's when you got to sit on the side and knock that bitch out.
Hey. That's better. That's better than having. That's better than the last insect that was on one of these.
You know how I do nets?
Pour a pot of hot water.
I hit them real quick like this. And
then I don't like nets though. I got net in my house, y'all.
It's a net.
It's a net, whatever it is. But anyway, I don't know the right proper term.
Net.
Okay. See,
English. That's what
English is not. Net. Yeah, English is not my mother tongue. You know what I mean? You know, stafafulaisa. But anyway, I want us to talk about the problem of y'all setting y'all caliber of what you want from a man or woman.
Set your bracket low.
Huh?
Set your bracket low.
Your bracket. Y'all be setting it sometimes too low or too high. There's nothing wrong with setting your expectation. What's the word I'm looking for though? Having
your standards.
Yeah, that word. Standards.
It's a difference between a standard and an expectation, first of all.
It is.
People be mixing that
Let me just talk about the standards. The expectation comes after the standard been set. Example. There's a standard for me to make sure I have adequate communication with my wife. The expectation is my ass actually doing that. She's expected of me to communicate just as much as I'm expected to get communication back. If my wife having a bad day, let me know. You better call Timoteo, let me know. But anyway.
That's not fair.
What you mean?
To say, if my wife having a bad day, let me know. That's not always easy.
That's not always easy. That's very true. I should be able to. When you know a woman. Let me tell you something, y'all. How long I've been? What year this is? 2023. Mm-hmm. I've been with the same woman since 2019, and I say that gracefully with a smile.
Yeah.
I could walk in the room and know what's going on. I don't have to. There's no level of having to communicate at that point. I don't need words for communication. I just need body language. I just need I don't need it. She having a bad day? Okay. She having a good day? Oh, I know. I know. She's having a good day.
And that's your job to know. It's your job to know. And I think people miss out on that in partnership. That's like one of the standards that women... It's not even just a standard. It's like a need, because we're such emotional beings, which we should be if we're in our feminine energy.
Right.
So if we're in our feminine energy, then of course we're going to be in our feelings, connected to our feelings, how we feel. It gives us intuition. It gives us guidance, and it helps us understand ourselves better, So when a woman is in a relationship with a man or anybody, two people in a relationship together, in my opinion, you should grow to know your person enough to be able to detect when there's an issue. Absolutely. Because naturally we're human. And when you're able to say, hey, it's an issue, that's creating a safe space for that person to process whatever they're processing emotionally.
And on the masculine level, it's making sure that the man know how to utilize the manliness, which is a word, don't try to come for me.
Which seems like a serious conflict with a lot of men.
It's like, you just gotta, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with allowing your woman, there's nothing wrong with allowing your woman to steer the ship. A lot of men I see who have low self-esteem unconsciously doesn't want a woman to be the captain of their ship. The thing about it is, if you allow the woman to be in their highest level of femininity, just them being themselves, don't try to rearrange them, don't try to change them, don't try to let your woman be themselves, be happy in their skin. Compliment them and give them words of encouragement and positivism. I can have a bad day and still give my wife some positivism. Just let it be in a flow state, and I promise you everything will be easy. The moment the man realizes, we already kings, right? Don't You don't have to go to your wife. I'm the man of the house. Why say that? Well, she already know that.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know what I mean? That don't make sense.
Because at the end of the day, of course, we want a man that can either meet us halfway or help provide financially, but that is never the basis of what moves us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can go make the money, you can pay all the bills, but if you still don't know how to be attentive to your person on an emotional level, then it's going to be a conflict.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how much you do or how much you provide. Like, you have to have a connection with that person.
Right.
And I feel like that right there is the problem with people setting their standards. Because then I see so many women willing to be dismissed emotionally just to be with their man. And never really getting the support that we need. Oh, I can't talk to him about that. Or I can't, but I gotta go out here. But bitch, I lay with you every night. You know what I'm saying? So why would I be with a person that can't hold space for me emotionally? If you really care about me, if you really love me, the standard should be
to nurture that.
To nurture that and accept me as a woman. If you decide to be with a woman, you need to understand that emotions come with that and there's a process in it.
Right.
And women need to understand that it is a standard in that and it's a process in it. And you need to find a partner that can create that space for you, because not everybody can do that for just anybody.
I agree. What you think, sis?
I just want to say that I think I just went through what you just said, that I had to let go, and I talked to you about it.
That's why I had said. That's why alley. You see the alley-oop? You see the alley-oop? Only a real nigga get alley-oop that. Yeah.
I don't think he knew how to come at me emotionally, like me expressing my feelings.
In that situation,
to
no, he
him.
didn't. No, he didn't. Let me interject. Any man, and I'm not putting you on Front Street, sis. Any man who put their hands on a woman doesn't deserve to be at the table to even talk to you, to even make any directional change, to affect you in any shape or form. They put their hands on you. The moment a man put their hands on you in a negative way, the safe space is gone. And he sacrificed the respect, the mutual respect and understanding that we men are stronger than women. Why the fuck would a man put their hands on a woman?
That's a fact.
In a negative
That's
way
a
to make her
scientific
feel
fact.
like inadequacy. I never want the woman I make love to fear me. My wife need to at least respect my black ass.
That's because you're not insecure.
Oh, I'm not. Ain't no insecurity over here, y'all. Y'all want to know what my biggest insecurity is? I'm gonna tell you what my biggest insecurity is. When my friends come to my house and my house ain't clean, I don't like that shit.
I don't be nothing wrong with that.
I don't want nobody to say, God, that's my insecurity. Look, it ain't even about me. You see how petty that is? But anyway, continue.
But not even that relationship. This past one, I wouldn't really call it a relationship. I would call it me just talking to somebody. 5-6 months.
You can learn a lot in that time, though.
I learned like he was just set in his ways and did not know how to communicate, or me express my feelings would be taken the wrong way. And
defensive.
Yes. And the fact that I think I just expressed my feelings way too much, I felt like I was in the wrong. But in my mind, I was like, I don't really deserve that.
Right.
Because if I can't talk to you emotionally or just about anything, but you can talk to me about anything, even when I'm going through something, it's a problem.
You're not being reciprocated.
Yeah. At all.
And that's another standard that needs to be set in relationships. Reciprocation.
Yeah.
Like, don't think that it's okay for a person to give their energy, their time, their money, their loyalty, their support, their encouragement, all the things, that their communication, and then turning around and you not willing to give the same thing back.
That's very important.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
I literally said, just take the words out my mouth. We had this discussion. Ain't that weird? It real recognize real.
Yeah. I mean, because reciprocation is a big thing that people act like it's no big deal, but it is. Like, if you got a fucking bank account and you keep taking from the bank account and you keep, eventually that bitch gonna go into negative if you're not putting in. So just as much as you taking out, you got to be putting in to stay in a healthy balance.
Absolutely.
And he was not putting
You know what
the
I'm
same
saying?
energy in that I was putting in. I was putting way more energy into it than he was. And
She put so much energy in it. She looked thirsty.
Yes.
Towards him.
And I just said
on a macro point of view, if he was looking at you like, yeah, girl, you thirsty? What you doing?
Why it be seeming like niggas be wanting that shit?
And it's okay. Like they want
That is so corny to me. Wanting a female to just be.
It's the ego. Look, let me tell you something about it. I know why. I know why. This is very toxic. When a man gets chased, it's like, Mbasa. You know, it's the ego. It's the mane of the lion to be chased, right? I still, you know what I mean? Like for me, I'm gonna give you a prime example. Well, no, I ain't gonna give you that example. But anyway, it's a man nature to feel chased. But the danger of that is you wanting a person to stroke your ego, and that shouldn't even be the reasoning of being with somebody.
You still got some shit
you got to work on if you want your ego to be stroked. Right. If my wife stroked my ego in any shape or form, trust me, I didn't ask for the ego to be stroked.
Right.
Or anything else for that matter. But anyway, I'm getting at.
Right.
So yeah.
But it's reciprocation.
It's reciprocation.
Because
absolutely.
you stroke her.
I stroke, right.
Hers.
The ego and everything else, yes.
Period. Then I had to think about what I said. Okay, pause. I'm so sorry, Henny.
Press play. He don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it's just a big thing. Like I just been like I said, I just have stepped back from the outside world and know I've been going through like a lot of changes. My phone's still ringing. Like,
but why? Let me
still calling, telling me about what they got going on too. You know what I'm saying?
You is a good conversationalist. And
you too, bro.
I try not to unpack on too much.
It's okay.
I do unpack a little bit on most of my friends. I apologize for that, but I try not to.
It's reciprocation.
It is. It's been plenty of times Brittany called me, let me tell you something, motherfucker. Well, not to me, but There's mother, it's been plenty of times. Yeah. But yeah. But why do men and women on both sides of the aisle, masculine and submissive, y'all get the man that you want or woman that you want, and you realize that the standard that you have is it's like, you get the pinnacle, you realize, okay, they don't have a working car. You still with them. Or they don't have a good credit score. They still with them. Or they're not taking care of their kids.
Okay, that's not workable.
You know who you are, who be doing it. You still with them. Oh, you don't even have your own place. I thought this was your house. This is your best friend's house. Oh, you still living with your woman or man. You know who you are. You still with them. Oh, you ain't even got a job? You playing a video game? You still with them. To those who keep letting the one after one after when you go down the motherfucking pyramid and still being with that individual, and you know that if this was anybody else, you wouldn't do it, but you just love Tyrone. Mm-hmm. You just love Tamika, whoever you are. I'm just throwing random names. Yeah, I gotta work on that.
So tell me this, bro.
I gotta work on that.
Why?
When it gets eroded, the standards are eroding like on top of a mountain.
But I got a question about the standards that you called out. Because like I said earlier, like for us, it can be as long, like in my mind, and I'll be completely transparent with my thinking. I can say, okay, this person might not have this or have yet accomplished this, but these are things that it can change. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I know or am aware that this person is working towards that change for themselves,
right?
Not me trying to change them, but if that person is like, I see they're progressively like working on themselves,
right?
I know that after time they could change, right?
Right.
But my question is do you think that women should make it a standard that a man has his own place, has his own car, is already like financially stable? Like, should that be a standard?
The standard is the answer to your question has to equate on what you or the woman individually want. And if, don't get mad at the man who fucked you over if you already knew he was an ain't shit nigga.
Right.
Don't get mad at the man if you wanted a thug, you got a thug nigga, he doing thug shit, and you couldn't handle it, and now you mad. That's that part that I'm looking at. You know what I mean? Don't get mad at the female who is promiscuous. My milkshake bring on type junk. You know what I mean? Shout out to Khalees. Ain't Khalees, they know, man. Anyway, get off. I'm sorry, I'm getting rambunctious with the subject. But to answer your question, it all comes down. To answer that question, yes and no, individually. Mm-hmm. Because for me, my standard is a woman. My wife can make more money than me. I don't have no problem with that. She just ain't outworking me.
So, okay.
you know what I mean? Like,
right.
She can make more money than me, but best believe, baby, hey, she ain't about to say I ain't did a damn thing.
So I'm gonna say this, and you can, as men at the table or queen, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, if y'all feel like I'm wrong. But before, and we've had this conversation, like prior to where I am today in my thinking, I would have said certain things don't really matter because this person is progressively working on these things, right?
Right.
But now I'm beginning to feel like it really has nothing to do with the fact that he doesn't have a car or he doesn't have his own place. It's more so now about the fact of where is your mental space.
All about the mental.
Being the person that doesn't have a car yet, does not have a home yet. So it's not, so now I'm looking at shit like a little different. Like, okay, it's hard for me to date because the average man doesn't make like
6 figures.
6 figures.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the average man make like what, $40,000 to $50,000 a year.
I could do that, but yeah.
But I think it's something like that.
55 in the state of North Carolina, 55,000.
50.
So 55, 54.
Okay, so about $55,000, less than $60,000 a year. The average man.
Okay.
So if you're a person that makes more, or like, for example, I have a business. I've been in business for a few years now. My business is pretty much running itself without me. I don't even have to be there anymore.
Right.
But the person that's looking at me is looking at me as already accomplished, even though I don't feel like I'm accomplished yet.
And they only look at you that way because they're not there where you at.
Right. So then to me, it seems like it's now the mental structure that you battling between. Because I'm a woman, you don't want to feel like you can't.
That's not fair.
Line up.
Like on the macro point of view, when looking at it that way, like I get that mental where you're coming from.
Right.
It's not like I'm not. What any man should not ask of Brittany if you was actually date her, right? Let's say if you get in that arena. Bear with me. You can't get mad at her because she's making a financial level higher than you. So at that point, what you need to stimulate is nothing materialistic. It has to be everything spiritually and mentally.
Or it can't become a competition.
Well, men is built to be competitions.
And that's where
that's the thing, though. But
is.
the men are built to be. Men are built to be You shouldn't take it out on a woman, but we built for competition. I can't help it. I can't help it sometimes. Like I don't feel like I compete with anybody.
I don't think I can be in competition with anybody.
I'm in competition with myself.
Man.
That's what I'm in competition with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that because I'm always on myself about what's next.
Right. Oh yeah.
But I cannot be in competition with the person. And I'm not saying that is something I'm experiencing right now. That is something I have experienced.
You should not be. I agree with you. In the competition with the person you in a relationship with, that's not a good look.
It's not.
It's not a good. I'm not trying to compete. I'm not trying to compare and contrast. Oh, you made this much this month, and I only made this much. Nah, we ain't got time for that.
Because then they start looking like you don't need their help. You don't need their support.
No.
You don't. You know what I'm saying? And they kind of use it as an excuse to work on they shit only and completely forget about you.
That's not fair.
Right.
That's
not
why.
Fair. So it's like that's why I said.
Then that means you need to scope your level of aptitude. Look it up on what you need to do. Engaging your partner. If you do get a man who's not making as equal status as you, they gotta have some form of backbone to handle the pressure of a woman making more money.
So do you think that's possible though?
It is possible, but it's rare because we live in a society. You can't get a person with a weak willpower, in a sense. A lot of men out here, they worry about, y'all think I worry about shoes? Like the new J's and Timbs. I got some Jordans, I got some Timberlands, but y'all think my black ass worry about that? Or name brand, I worry about the bills and making sure my seeds are taken care of and my wife is good. Everything else is secondary. So when I move like that, you got to get a man with this concept of wanting the same values that you have, that you hold dear. If you're dating a man, they got to understand that it's you in the package deal. Your kids is the package deal, baby. Mm-hmm. It ain't just motherfucking just
damn
Brittany.
Right.
It's got to be Brittany plus,
plus.
So if you can hit, and this goes for both of y'all, sis. If a nigga can get in y'all realm, y'all queendomness, and handle the pressure of what it means to actually take care of thyself and thy, not neighbor, but loved one, it's a package deal. It ain't no, oh, I just want to date you, but I don't know about your kids. That's the red flag. I see that from a lot of females out there who be doing that.
So it sounds like to me that you need to date in your tax bracket.
That part. You might need a date. And let me put myself outside the box.
You don't count.
If I dated,
y'all not too like y'all have a balance of home and work. Like,
because I love working. Like I feel like, so I was always taught that the man, regardless of how much they bring, should be the breadwinner. And if a woman was to make more, my grandmother made more money than my grandfather. Low key, she was, she was balling. But at the same time, he didn't let that distract him from what he wanted to do. He built his empire to help her build her empire. That's the concept that men should do. It's what I see from a lot of relationships is they get into these arguments and they don't know how to fix on thyself. That's what they, we don't, it's like, it's so easy. Like, all right, well, fuck the relationship. Let me go look at something else. Oh, you Daniel, you been doing this? Oh, fuck you, Daniel. Let me look at Christopher. Type shit like that.
That's too much.
That's too much.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm simple, man.
It's too much.
I'm trying to evaluate myself off of all this, but me, I'm like the person that read. I'm like the person that opened up the book.
But what standards you look at and qualities you look at?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And let me tell you something, Kev. Let me interject. Let me interject, Kev.
All right.
When I go out to the club with Kev ain't looking at some of these females with the high standards. I'm gonna tell you why it's impossible. You can't really find a woman in the club scene, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because for the same reasons why you might be at the club, they might be at the club for the same reasons too.
That's bullshit.
What you mean?
That's bullshit.
What you mean, sis?
That's bullshit.
I'm gonna tell you why I say I make that
Not
statement.
everybody at the club.
This is the
is
majority.
Out there to find something.
The majority. This is what I see.
You think so? The majority.
The majority. But a man's gonna think that. I'm gonna tell you. And I know it's bullshit. Listen.
What's the first agreement?
You gotta enlighten me.
The first agreement.
The first agreement.
The first agreement.
What you mean?
Never assume.
Facts.
Okay.
Assumptions to the side. If a man has a certain etiquette on why they going to the club, they're going to
assume that that's why the other person is. So that makes more sense.
There we go. That's what I'm good. That's what I'm playing off of.
I just saying, like, me personally.
Now go ahead.
I was trying to explain to y'all, like some people are you get a book. You skip the title, all that shit. You skip the intro. You just skip all that shit. You trying to read the book so damn bad.
That book right if you
don't even know the shit break down what the book about when you first open up the goddamn book.
Goddamn metaphor.
When you open up the book, it tell you a little bit about the whole fucking book before you even start reading that shit. So some people just don't know how to.
Say if you just read the intro.
Yeah, man, you gotta take your time and fucking read that shit, man. Because that's what the fine print is. A lot of people go around signing paperwork and don't read the fine print.
Life is like a manual.
You ain't read it.
You're talking to me.
And you gotta read that manual.
You a contractor.
Hey. Facts. You know what? This is the crazy thing though. I'm sitting at a table, y'all. And you ever just realize like there's no such thing as accidents? My sister to my right went through a lot of similarities of my sister to my left. And they both have absolutely no idea. But you know what I just learned in this moment at this exact very second? That we are human. We are Homo sapiens sapien, right? When you go out and you find yourself a life partner, the biggest question you got to ask thyself is, can you handle when they fuck up? Because they gonna fuck up. This is Great Apes Cafe. Y'all got anything else to say?
I mean, I ain't really break down my shit. I just want to tell y'all, man, like me, I'm very simple. I'm very psychological. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be doing that when I went to college.
You know when the alcohol hit, don't shit just roll out.
It's just like, it's real simple. Like, I promise. And
but for some, it's not though, Kev.
Nah, because you're making it hard.
They make it hard because they
you're
have
making it hard.
Beware of pretend gestures.
You want that shit that you know you ain't fucking need that shit.
Kev, beware of pretend gestures of admiration and hidden agendas. The reason why it's hard is because somebody didn't communicate that while they in a relationship, either A or B want to go fuck around, or A or B don't know how to communicate, or A or B went through so much trauma they don't know that. Let me tell you something. I know for a fact my personality. I'm gigantic. My personality is like Jupiter, right? Yeah. My wife's personality is quite different from me. But from some people, my wife and my friends and family, their personality is the moon. Their personality is Pluto. And that's all they could give to me. Yeah. I can't expect them to give me gallons of personality like the size of Jupiter just because I'm that big. Sometimes you got to take with what you get. But the question is, can you take
more than what they
sometimes
they can't.
Hey, look, think about this.
I have a big.
Now you just said Jupiter, like stuff like that, right?
That's an ugly analogy, ain't it?
Hey, look, think about what I'm saying, bro. Like that eagle can be that Jupiter and all that shit, but all that shit in one galaxy, bro.
Hey, this is very true.
You know what I mean? Still all like, exist together.
It's all there.
That's very true.
You know, that shit is out. That shit is out there. Like
when people give me their love, and the love can be, and it took me a while to really learn this. My shit is like magnanimous, right? If they give me the love, I can't get mad. This is what they was to give me. Why should I get mad about that? Maybe they don't know how to love.
See, that's the thing about me. I love myself so much to the point where I won't let nobody. Like, if you got over me, like, you was lucky, motherfucker. Like, just know that shit. Because that shit don't normally happen.
Coming out.
Yeah, that's
now I'm just saying, if you got over me, like, yo, you lucky.
Let me tell you about Kev.
Like, that when you try to double back, just know I'm on your ass.
The moment you really hurt a kid's feelings, they crabby for real. My mama or RP to my mom.
It's the worst.
They're the crap.
I ain't like that, man. I'm trying to tell you. Everybody be going off this horror. That's why I don't read horoscopes and that shit no more.
Because it be too.
I don't even want to know.
It ain't about horoscopes, but those birth charts line up every single time.
Man, I stay away from stuff like that. I just live my life accordingly, and I feel like
according to who?
According to myself.
Period.
I don't give a fuck about it. Hey, look, I made time. I got think about how much love I give out. I do shit for anybody, but just imagine how much I'm trying to do for my goddamn self.
Let me tell you something.
If I was to go and do all that,
and as a good friend and brother on this podcast, I have to say that is a red flag. When you do anything for everybody, I don't. Maybe I'm grimy. I'm still learning that. Maybe that's just because you're different from me on that level. I can't do everything good for everybody.
I ain't saying that I'm not grimy.
Good for me.
I ain't saying that I'm not grimy. I'm grimy too. Trust me. I just know how to be grimy. Like I ain't no point.
I need a quid pro quo. That's what I need. If I'm gonna do something for somebody, I don't expect anything back, but I do expect one thing. Don't go around saying that you give me power. If I did something,
I just get the experience off of.
Where did we just go?
Hey, look, I just get the experience.
We just left.
You feel me? I think that's why I'm in the element I'm in. Like, no, I'm not.
Element? What element is this?
No, I'm not in a relationship and building with anybody anymore. But at the end of the day, like, I love myself so much to the point where I'm not about to let somebody else get over me. But if you really take about all the stuff that I did, I gained the experience off of that. I got so much experience in like opening those books and reading that title to the point where like, I got experience.
I mean,
it's like if you went to class, right, and you ain't never do the fucking work. When time you get that test at the end, you gonna fail that shit, man. Don't even try to do it.
That's
bro.
true.
You ain't put no effort in and try to learn that shit.
Unless if the student peeped that syllabus. The thing about people who was with
that's that cheat sheet though. I ain't cheat shit in this shit. I do all the hard work.
Let's think about like this though. Just think about what 95% of people on this planet fell, on the United States of America fell with relationship. You want to know why the relationship fails? 3 things: accountability, communication, and not identifying the main source of the problem.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I always tell people in the relationships, find the problem, but sometimes you could be the problem. I know I was. Lord knows I was before I got married. I was a problem. Good God Almighty.
Man, we ain't gonna even go into no names or nothing. I'm gonna just say this shit like another book. So I had read this book one time, right?
Which book?
This book. and you know what's so crazy? It got to a point where I sat it on the show. I ain't read all that shit. But then I was like when it came back to, I'm like, oh shit, I ain't never even finished this book. So I tried to read this shit again, right?
Right.
It just wasn't a fucking good book. Like, you know, I don't know. It just didn't grasp my attention like that.
Take that bitch
So
back
now,
to the library.
now I might not sit this shit back on my shelf. Like I might ask somebody else if they want it. You know what I mean? I think this. Hey, look, I read this book. Hey, it's all right. You know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? You can read it if you
Yeah,
got.
now how you feel about what he just said? Because you've been the quietest on this podcast episode so far.
I'm trying to keep my shit in code.
I see
I don't even
that.
know what to say.
My shit coded out.
Good answer.
I agree with Kev.
I got my shit coded
it's
out,
okay
man. You know.
to get to know somebody. You might have missed a couple of chapters. You know what I'm saying in the book. But if the book don't work for you, you put that bitch back on the shelf and get another one that work for you. So I think that's another standard.
But see,
and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hey,
so
look. Just imagine this though. Imagine you at the library.
Back at it again.
Hey, look, man. Think about this though. Just think about this. Like I look at shit on vernacular. You know what I mean? So like you at the library, you finding shit to take home, but at your house you got books on your shelf. You know
already.
what I mean? Yeah, like you know, you already got books home. You just at the store trying to find another goddamn book real quick because you done read all this damn other books.
I peeped that.
I went to college. I still got all my books. You know what I mean?
All of them?
I still got.
I saw some of my
accounting 1, 2, and 3, journalism, mathematics, algebra.
So are we talking about books or people?
We talking. It's both. It's both.
I guess he's using an analogy of people to his book.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to figure this shit out real quick.
Well,
I'm trying to keep up.
Here go my analogy for the book and people. Treating a person like a book to put them to the shelf only to acquire dust and not read them is a dangerous situation.
Give it away.
But think about this though. Hey, look. But think about this though.
My books on.
Hey, look.
I'm done with it now. I don't even need it anymore.
Hey, think about this though.
I done read it a few times.
Hey, look.
Was that OD?
I'm about to blow y'all mind. And I'm out.
Don't blow my mind. Nigga,
I'm about to blow their mind. I'm
trying to switch subject.
I'm gonna blow y'all mind.
Okay, go ahead.
We about to switch topic.
I was trying to bow tie.
But I just want to say this, right?
Oh, this nigga slapped. That means it's dangerous. Let me go ahead and drink.
Oh shit!
Let me drink the rest of my Reds.
Why they used to hide books? Why you couldn't find the damn books that you?
Well, you know
looking
why.
For,
let's not.
The real
why
good ones.
Why that shit? They say it's in there,
The real
but
good
where's
ones
that?
hard to find.
But why the real good books somewhere like not where all the other books at though?
Because they not in the Matrix. They not with the 92%.
Why the fuck?
And to be honest,
why the fuck those books ain't downstairs where everybody need to read them at?
That's a good. Want to know
Maybe
why?
they are, but people are not on the vibration enough to notice that they've been right there in front of their face the whole time.
I guess it's just like putting some money in the Bible.
Or they've been too
the most serious books are always hidden.
That's true. It's not hard. It's not easy to find like the best books.
The best books, no.
A lot of times they sold out.
I think it's more of a category. You might like comedy. You might like action. You might like romance.
Ken, where you getting at with this analogy?
It's so many fucking books.
Are you relating this to the books?
It's a lot of books, bro. It's books and people.
So why don't you give some of those books away?
I did.
You got a lot of books.
Or just let them go.
Why?
I mean, a lot of. You know, I told you, I like the
burn them,
experience.
not burn the books.
Hey, guess what?
He said burn them. My producer said burn them.
I like the experience. I still read.
Let me interject. Kev, what we getting?
I still read.
You killing me with the analogy.
I'm a very good reader.
Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Great Apes Cafe. I hope that you like, subscribe,
I be reading the fuck out these books.
Obviously.
He said earlier he didn't finish the books, and now he reading the fuck.
Hey, but look, I'm gonna tell y'all some real shit, though, right? Hey, you know what's so crazy, man?
That statement.
I think I'm about to write my own book.
Reading Rainbow, okay?
Me too.
At least that's a book that you can keep.
I'm about to write my own book, man.
Please.
Shout out
His
to the
book
authors.
of Kevinisms.
I think that's what I need. I need to author this shit, and then maybe it'll work. I ain't tried that yet. I'll just read the books.
Hell no. This is Great Apes Cafe. If you don't learn anything from this episode, I hope that you learn that you don't treat people like it's books. Because if Kev can treat you like a book, you're going to gather dust. You're gonna get book mites.
Nah, man.
The book's gonna have decomposition very, very fast.
Ah, man.
He ain't wrapping the books up from the sun and from dust. Kev gonna have your shit all messed up. That's what I think. You know how the binding in the book, he got that shit all bent out of shape.
Ah, man. I got a library.
This ain't it.
I got a library, but that don't mean at the end of the day that I'm going to read every book.
Hey, yo, Eric,
some of them I already read.
Why my nigga dropping subliminals and double entendres? This is Great Apes Cafe. I hope that you like, subscribe, share. Deuces.
Kev.
The book analogies. I couldn't even box that episode right.
Books, Kev.
Hey,
so you had me in the beginning.
No, yeah, I mean it's still there. Like you just gotta think about what I'm saying.
We gotta do that.
But like I just realized. You know what I'm about to do? I'm about to write a book. I'm about to write a fucking book, yo. I'm about to write a fucking book.